Hello everybody and welcome back. In this video we are going to be implementing two functions inside of our database service class, which we're going to be then using inside of our auth state changes function to actually one, change some data on the Firestore database, and second, retrieve some data from the Firestore database. So with that said, let's get into it. And once we write these functions, you'll see what data needs to be written as well data needs to be retrieved. So let's get into it and let's see how to do this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to my services folder, and then I'm going to be clicking on my database service. And once my database service file is open, inside of here is where I'm going to be adding most of my logic. So the first function that we're going to be working towards is going to be the function which is going to return to us information regarding a specific user from our Firestore database. So essentially what I'm talking about is this function is going to go to our Cloud Firestore database, it's going to go to the users collection, then for whatever user ID that we provide to it, it's going to go to that document and it's going to fetch that document and return it to us. And it's just going to return whatever document we've requested to us only once. It's just going to be a simple request where we need to go and fetch some data. It's not going to be a stream of data where the function once called, it's also going to update us every time the data changes. No, we're not going to be implementing that. The only thing that we're going to be doing is that we're going to be creating the function which is going to be responsible for going and getting a single document from the users collection for us for whatever ID that we've specified. So now let's go back to our database service and let's implement this function. So this function is going to be very simple. It's going to be a future which is going to return to us a document snapshot. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to call this function get user, and then inside of here we'll say that we'll pass in a string called the UID, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say that we're going to return the ._db collection, and we're going to go to our user collection. So that's going to be the string that we had defined here, the constant string users. Make sure that this users string has the same name for the collection as the collection in our Firestore database. As you can see, mine is the same. So user collection, and then from there I'm going to do that get a document with the ID UID that gets passed in, and then what you have to do is that you have to do the get function on it, and then with this I'm going to add a semicolon at the end to command save, and that's pretty much all we had to do for this function. Now the next function that we're going to be implementing is going to be a function which is going to go to our Firestore database. It's going to go to the same users collection, then to the user document that we have, and then it's going to go and update the last active time. So it's going to update part of the document, and specifically the thing that it's going to update is going to be the last active time. So with that said, let's go back and let's implement this function as well. So this function is going to be a function which is going to have a type of future void. So it's going to be a function which is going to have a type of future void. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to call this function update user last seen time. And then what I'm going to do is that I am going to open up the parentheses for this function, and inside of the parentheses I'm going to say that this is going to be a function which is also going to get a UID passed to it of type string. And then do not forget to mark this function asynchronous as well. Since we're writing some data, I suspect that the call might fail. In that case, I'm just going to be adding a try catch block, and inside of the try block I'm going to say that I'm going to await the db.collection, and then I'm going to go to the user collection, and then I'm going to go to the document which is specified by the UID, and then from there I'm going to call the update function on it, and the update function expects us to pass in a map which has string as keys, and then values could be dynamic, and the only thing that I'd like to update is going to be a key which is going to be last active, which matches up with the key for our document here. And then the value for that is going to be equal to our date time package .now .to UTC. And then add a semicolon or a comma, sorry, not a semicolon, add a comma here as well, do Alt-Shift-F, command save. And then finally, the last thing that I'll do is that for if some reason this call fails, then I just want to print to the console whatever error gets passed into us and do command save. So that's pretty much all we had to do for our update user last seen time as well. So now that this is done, what I'd like to do is that I'd like to go to my authentication provider and like to implement these functions. But before I implement this function, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you that for my user, just the one user that we have, which is the user that's currently logged into our application. Just to prove that, I'll restart my application and you're going to see that we get a print statement of logged in. The time is not being changed right now, and the last active time is September 11, 2021, which is different from today because today is September 12th. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to add these two calls. So where are these two calls going to be added? Well, they're going to be added inside of the block of the if statement where the user is not equal to null. That means we're logged in. So I'm going to remove my print statement and I'm going to say that we're going to access our database service, which we have access to already, as you can see. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to call the update user last seen time. And now the question comes, where do we get the user ID from? Well, we get the user ID from the user that gets passed in. So I'm going to do user dot and then UID. And that's all pretty much we had to do, and do command save. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to do database service and then get the user. And then I'm just going to pass in the user.uid again. So I'm just going to copy and paste that in. But for now, I'll just leave this function like this as it is, and I'm not gonna change anything in it. And I'm going to do command save. And now if I restart my application, nothing's going to happen inside of our application that's going to change. But if we go back to our Firestore database, we go to the specific user document, you're going to see that the last active time has indeed changed. And now it's showing to be September 12, 2021 at like 3:41 p.m. So that kind of indicates to us that our logic is working perfectly fine. So with that, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to end this video here. And now in the next video, we'll actually tackle the process of taking the user that we have just extracted from our Firestore database and then kind of creating that user to be an instance of the chat user class that we had created in the previous videos, and then save that inside of our authentication provider class as a variable. So with that, thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. But before I end this video, if you've still not left a review on my course, please do so. It really helps me a lot. It helps the course a lot as well, and it helps people that are having similar interest to you on finding this course. And if you have any questions, do not be hesitant. Contact me either through the Udemy Q&A or contact me on our Discord server, the link to which you can find on the official GitHub repo for this project as well. And there you can find the GitHub repos for all of the other projects on which courses I've made as well. So with that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.